Hey people, welcome to Blue K Jazz Dance. You're in the Blue Lab. This is my mood wall. Mood wall, I took it from fashion design. I studied fashion design. I studied all types of design. I was an engineer, well, ATS engineer, doing mechanical and at some point aeronautical engineering. I wanted to be in the RAF as an RAF officer pilot, but I wanted to do a degree in mechanical engineering or aeronautical engineering. But I didn't get O-level, so I was on a YTS course back in the day, in the 80s, it was YTS. And I used dance as a tool for my personal development, to develop my attire, to develop social skills, physical skills, intellectual skills, to make me ready for the world of the RAF. As an officer pilot, I would have to coach, I have to mentor, I have to lead by example, because I have to go into a world of courage, I have to show that I'm willing to adapt and learn very quickly as an individual. So you're on my mood wall. This is my mood wall in my house. And in fashion, the ideas that you have. So I'm doing a project, and what happened, this is my house, and this is me. I found out I was dyslexic in 2005 as I went into university, and this is me lecturing at university. Actually, not lecturing, I'm campaigning to be a vice president. What happened, a lot of insecurities I faced, a lot of double discriminations in the university, and a lot of double standards in Oxford Brookes University. As an individual, I did not get right service, and a lot of international students and other students didn't. A lot of students were there under duress. If you spoke out against anything that took place against you at Brookes, that could lead you to get into challenges. I was a warden at Brookes. What happened as an individual, I went there to university, and part of my work was to break stereotypes about blacks students, widen participation student, elder student, a person who was a late achiever. But most importantly, I wanted to break stereotypes about me being a dancer, because I went there as a dance leader to learn business studies. 2003, there was a report that said all dancers had been trained inadequately. Yeah, so I went to university with this whole element. Yes, we can achieve. People from a grassroots community can achieve. Dancers can achieve to develop themselves. At university, I did arts management, administration, and business management, and I faced a lot of stereotypes because people didn't know much about me. So I created this thing called Student Empowering Students. The most important thing that happened at university was really sad. What happened, I went to do arts in residency with the art students, and the art students snubbed me, and the architecture students snubbed me, and the dance society snubbed me. That was unacceptable, hence the reason I campaign to be vice president. And on the back, you've got pictures here, what was actually being spread throughout the university, that I did not have the qualifications or the skills to be vice president of activities and development for 20,000 students. So to put that to rest, people unaware I was working on my business plan, I took opportunity at lecture hall to show my pictures, and that shut everybody up, and very much it did, because people didn't know I'd done that, didn't know I'd been a British representative for British arts, represent for initiatives in Europe, as an individual for my own projects and other projects I worked on. As I said, this is my mood wall, and it gives people an indication. This is a good picture. This is what happened. Op Brookes, see this picture, you think it could go off your head, and many people did go off their head because of the ill treatment they faced. Being a dancer, you have to be tough. You have to have rhino hide. So as I said, I use dance because it's one of them lives where it's really highly competitive, and you've got to have a competitive edge. And people do cruel things if you allow them to. Malicious acts take place. People get isolated. There's favoritism in dance schools. All that I knew about, so that helped me to get through what I was going through in university. I started to campaign. I put myself in leadership roles. I worked with very much a lot of teachers that told me about the industry, the entertainment industry, and this is one of my teachers, Thomas Alajide Ojueso. Here he is, yeah. He died at 103 in my hands. He was in everything from film to shows to productions, composer, dancer, fire eater. He was born in 1888. He's the oldest person I knew as an individual, and he really gave me the skills as an entertainer. Because I really wanted to be in the entertainment business. I created my own Afro Creative Fitness Life manual for myself, and this is me. Yes, we can do that. Fitness for life. This is me, basically wanting to share with people eventually through a book the fitness I use, what fitness I use in my life. Dance was the number one thing. On here I talk a little bit here. This gentleman, John Coltrane, his music I listen to 24/7. I want to relax to his music, I dance to his music, I do drumming. I used to be a musician, but I ended up doing percussion and his music I listen to relax me. I'm doing a major project with Birth of the Cool, which is designated 110% to my acts of achievement as a leader, my legacy of achievements. And it was very much something I identified as a rainy day. What happens is, unfortunately, many black artists are deemed as liars, people who talk about doing great things but don't actually achieve great things. And the Birth of the Cool was about me actually identifying my milestones of all the projects I've worked on, and I used it successfully here, and then go back here. I kept my portfolio from a business, because it is from a business, and I showed it here, and it shocked students. I'm here competing to be vice president. I didn't win, but the campaign was absolutely fantastic, because the person who was doing that job already, it went 3 rounds before she actually won, and I wasn't living on the campus. I'm living 7 miles away, so I wasn't surprised I lost as an individual, but I wasn't surprised of how the campaign went. I went out to win as an individual, but I couldn't put as much time into the campaign because I was working on my degree as a person with dyslexia, working on my business. Anyway, Blue K Jazz Dance, giving you insight into my life, telling you about art plays a great role. And as an individual, I learned to fly solo with a new attitude that was basically using my arts leadership practice. Arts leaders have portfolios. They let people talk about them in a negative way. Don't worry about it till you go for your interview, because then what happens when you use your material, your archive material of your acts of achievement, you stand out much better as being a person that competed against someone in a positive way. Other people compete in a negative way, in a malicious way. That's what happened to me at university, but I didn't worry about it. As I said, dancers have rhino hide. They have to be thick-skinned. A lot of things are said about dancers, but where it gets stopped is in rehearsals, it gets stopped in auditions, it gets stopped in when other people come to see you perform, which people have in shows. They heard about you and they realise, oh, that wasn't true. Blue K Jazz Dance out.